close your eyes. The scratch of a fountain pen on thin airmail paper. The smell of ink drying under a single light bulb. That's the sound of longing, written in Italian, addressed to a village that feels a world away. In this video, we're going back to the 1950s, to the letters that crossed oceans, carried dreams, and kept families together across impossible distances. 8 stories that those who left, and those who waited, will never forget. These are the voices of the great emigration, speaking from the page. Let's remember together. You're standing on the deck of the Giulio Cesare, watching Genoa disappear into the fog. In your pocket, folded until the creases are soft as fabric, is the letter your mother pressed into your hand at dawn. You haven't opened it yet. You can't, because once you read her words, the leaving becomes real. That night, in the shared cabin below deck, you finally unfold it. Her handwriting trembles. Figlio mio, it begins. My son. She writes about the fig tree in the courtyard, how it will bloom without you this spring. She writes, don't forget us. As if you ever could. For millions who left Italy in those years, this goodbye letter became a sacred object. Kept in wallets, read until the words blurred. It was the last touch of home before everything changed. Speaking of letters that traveled across oceans, if these memories are bringing back your Italy, subscribe so we can remember together. Now, let's continue. The blue aerogramme arrives on a Tuesday. Your sister recognizes your handwriting before she sees the return address, and she runs through the piazza shouting your name. 3 months of silence. 3 months of lighting candles at Santa Maria, wondering if you got lost in that massive city. Your letter is only 1 page, blue paper that folds into itself, weighing almost nothing so it can fly faster. You write about snow, which none of them have ever seen. You write about buildings so tall they block the sun. You don't write about crying yourself to sleep. You don't write about the English words that won't come. Instead, you write, Sto bene. I'm fine. I'm saving money. Your sister reads it aloud in the kitchen while your mother cooks, and for a moment, your voice fills the room again. These aerogrammes were lifelines. Thin as hope, blue as the sky between continents. The photograph slips out of the envelope, and your mother's hands shake. It's you, but not you. You're wearing a suit. When did you buy a suit? You're standing in front of a brick building, looking at the camera like you've forgotten what it means to wake up before dawn to pick olives. Your father holds it up to the window light. He looks American, he says, and it's not a compliment. But your mother traces your face with her finger, and she sleeps with that photograph under her pillow. What you don't say in your letter is that the suit is borrowed, that you skipped meals to pay the photographer. For those who emigrated, these photographs were proof that the sacrifice meant something. For those who stayed, they were bittersweet treasures. Pride and loss, frozen in black and white. The money order is folded inside the letter, and when your father sees it, he sits down heavily. It's more than he makes in 2 months. Your mother cries, and for the first time since you left, they're not tears of grief. Bravo, figlio mio, your father writes back, but here's what breaks your heart. He thanks you like you're a stranger, doing them a favor. Not like you're his son. Not like every lira you send is soaked in homesickness and overtime shifts. These remittances built houses back home, paid for weddings, kept farms alive. But they also built walls. The money changed relationships. Sons became providers before they could become men. Take a moment. Close your eyes again. Can you hear it? The postman's motorcycle putting up the hill. Your grandmother calling out, "Pasta! Pasta! Can you smell it?" The ink, the paper, the trace of cologne on the page. That's the Italy we're remembering today. The Italy that lived in envelopes, that crossed oceans one letter at a time. Let's continue. The emergency telegram arrives at midnight. Mamma gravemente malata. Stop. Torna a casa. Stop. Mother gravely ill. Come home. Stop. But there's no coming home. The ship ticket costs 3 months' wages. Your boss won't give you time off. So you write instead, your hand shaking. You write, "Aspettami." Wait for me. The response comes 2 weeks later. Too late. She died 3 days after the telegram was sent. She died asking for you. This was the cruelest part of emigration. The inability to touch a dying parent's hand. These telegrams, with their brutal brevity, their stop punctuation like a heartbeat flat line, delivered news that changed everything. And guilt became a permanent companion. Your daughter is 5 years old, and she's never met her nonna. She speaks English now, whatever language swallowed you both when you arrived. So you write a different kind of letter. You have your daughter draw pictures in the margins. A house, a sun, a flower. Your mother writes back with dried lavender tucked in the envelope. She writes out Italian lullabies in careful script. Teach her our language. Don't let her forget where she comes from. But your daughter can't read Italian. And you're so tired from 2 jobs that some nights you forget to speak Italian at home. The language is slipping away. These intergenerational letters carried an ache that's hard to name. Grandparents who existed only on paper. Children who couldn't pronounce their own last names correctly. 20 years later, you finally go back. Your hair is gray now. Your hands are calloused from building someone else's country. The village is smaller than you remember, and in a drawer, tied with faded ribbon, you find them. Every letter you ever sent. She kept everything. Your sister tells you that your mother read your letters aloud every Sunday after Mass. "Mio figlio," she would say. "My son." You sit on her bed, reading your own words from decades ago, and you realize something devastating. You were so busy proving that leaving was worth it that you never told her the truth. You never wrote, "I miss you so much I can't breathe." You wrote about success when you should have written about love. These 8 letters weren't just paper and ink. They were the fabric of Italian life in the 1950s, stretched thin across oceans. For those who left, they were the umbilical cord that never quite severed. For those who stayed, they were proof that somewhere, someone was thinking of home. The Great Emigration created a generation that lived between worlds, fluent in longing, native speakers of distance. The Italy we remember lives in these moments, in the sound of a fountain pen, in the blue of an aerogramme, in the words we wrote when we didn't know how to say goodbye. What do you remember most? Did your family keep the letters? Share in the comments. Subscribe to remember more. Ciao, and keep the memories alive.